In this video, you're going to find out that you actually don't need hard work to make it in anything, to be honest. You don't need hard work to necessarily... Okay, you flipping do, okay? If you thought this video was going to be another thing about you don't really need to work hard to make whatever amount of money, it's a lie. But basically, this video is to tell you that it doesn't need you to do things for a long while. It just needs you to be uncomfortable. What I mean is that don't take anything that you're doing, whether it's outreach, whether it's ads or whatever you're doing, in the aspect of I'm just doing it, and if I'm not getting any ROI from it, it's fine as long as I'm doing it. So like a year back, right, I was doing all this whole online thing, copywriting, blah blah blah. What am I saying? All of it, right? And I would basically just put myself in an environment suitable for work, or doing things that I thought was work but wasn't work at all. It was just some sort of mental masturbation, or some things that I would do thinking that I was working. Let's say I would make the environment suitable for work. I would read about this about work. I would watch this video about work, but I wouldn't do the work. So when you're not getting an ROI from something, it's because you're doing something wrong. And it leads me back to when I landed my first client. It took me an enormous amount of outreach. I would send like flipping 50 emails a day just to get one or two replies. And then from those two replies, I was like, oh wow, it's actually working. It's actually working. And then when it starts working, I go back down. You know, I would go back down to maybe sending 20. But I didn't take that 50 and be like, okay, how can I send more? But the reason why I landed that client wasn't because I was doing that 50, doing that 50, doing that 50. No, it was because I was maybe sending 50 emails a day. I'll get a positive response and I'll go back. And in that uncomfortable time frame where I'm like not on the grind, that's what led me to go back harder and just propel me just to work harder, right? So the point of this video is that it isn't necessarily about, you don't need to go through painful experiences to succeed. It's just that you need to learn a lot of skills which you don't have, and in learning those skills you most likely will encounter a lot of pain. And I remember very vividly how I landed my first client. Was really a sad moment. I was really just angry the fact that I was trying to balance school and all of these things, and I was just not getting this client. And I just burst out one night and I just didn't sleep, and I just outreached like no one's business until I landed it. So you kind of do need that pain to make you so uncomfortable so you do get that client. So what I've come to realize is that don't wait until I shouldn't wait until I'm in that uncomfortable situation where I have to force myself to kind of stand up. Don't wait for the time to be finished. Don't wait until you're too old. Don't wait until time is up and then you have to forcefully do something about your situation. So create scenarios with your head, do something like that about it. But my point is that if you do want to get your first appointment setting client or whatever client, in whatever you're doing, what I would tell my younger self is just put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and just work. And work also with feedback, because you don't want to work hard but work it down, because it doesn't matter how hard you work. If you're doing something wrong, it would just not work. So you really have to understand that you have to work hard and smart, and also be humble enough to learning different things and getting better advice and getting better at things, right? So I landed my first client being a lazy person, because it was a thing of I work hard, get few positive responses, and then I go back to like sending fewer outreaches or fewer work or doing less work, and just focusing on things that are not work. People think that just because you are on the phone or on the laptop or in that environment you're working, But if you're working, you would get an ROI from it, right? You would get an ROI from it. It's not about, because this thing is, I even had a client last month and I didn't give him the best results. I'm not going to lie to you, right? But if I did work, then if I did work more, right? It's not a thing of like sitting there doing outreach for 10 hours and only having 7 calls booked for the month. No, it's not like that. Because if you were working, you would get the results that you need. So if you find yourself doing a lot of nonsense throughout the day that doesn't have an ROI, like how I was doing it in the past, it's most likely because you're not doing the right work and you're just being lazy, because you're not also taking the time and energy to find out better ways for you to make it more efficient so that you can get a higher ROI for the amount of time that you're putting in. So, moral of the story, you have to work hard and smart, and the smart work is basically all you need. And how do you work smart as well? You don't even need to create things, bro. You don't need to come up with some new formula. You just literally copy other people and kind of tweak it in your own way. That's all. You don't need to make it as complicated as you think it should be. You just need to work hard and smart and copy the people that are doing something that is already working, so you don't waste time trying to create some formula knowing that it was already created and you wasted your time trying to be the new inventor. So that's all it takes. And that's all it took for me to land my first client. Is generally analyzing what I was doing and trying to see that, okay, I'm not doing this. Why am I not doing this? Let me try doing this. And just being humble enough to get feedback from the people that you get rejected from. Because at the end of the day, if you knew how many no's it took you to get that one yes, you would rush to get that as many no's as you ever could. Like you would, if you knew it would take you 50 no's until you get one big yes that makes you a billionaire, for example, you would rush to get as many no's. So don't take the rejections as, no, people don't believe in you, whatever. You just need to put yourself more there, maybe because you getting more no's is going to give you lessons that will acquire you of getting a yes. So that's the point of the video, is just basically analyzing and working hard in a smart way. And you don't really need to be the most hardworking person in the beginning. Like, of course, you don't need to be a hardworking person in the beginning. You don't. You genuinely don't. I'm telling you, like, you literally don't. I work with a lot of fitness clients or whatever, people with a lot of followers and stuff, and I'm telling you, you don't need to work as hard in the beginning, especially like if you have proof and if you're not, okay, I don't want to say that, but if you're not fat or something, if you're not like just generally repelling people from away from you and just being a bad person, for example, you know, it's not gonna be something like, oh no, you're disabled from just making a bit of money from online. It's a big lie. So even if your skin tone, even your color, right, even where you are doesn't even limit you. There are people in Africa, even me, who are making. So it doesn't really matter. So don't limit yourself on that. That excuse on telling yourself it's just your skin color, it's where you are, or it's the way you speak. At least you don't have an Indian accent. I mean, if you have an Indian accent, it might be harder, but there are people who are making it with an Indian accent. At the end of the day, there's no excuses, and if you're not getting the results you want, you're probably not working hard and smart at the same time. You can't only have one. So that's the point of this video, and that's what took me to get in my first client.